The recruitment and retention of minorities and females into apprenticeship programs was the focus of my dissertation. Hello, I'm Dr. Joy Rich, and I just received my EDD from the University of the Cumberlands. Today, I will share with you the focus of my dissertation and the results of my study. In the United States, we are facing a skills gap. This has resulted in a deficiency in skilled talent to fill employer demand. Currently, we have 6.5 million job openings. There is also a disparity in the enrollment of females, minorities, and minority females into apprenticeship programs, which is contributing to this employment gap. For this study, I focused on 4 research questions. Research question 1. Is there a difference between the type of apprenticeship model a state uses, OA, which is the federal model, or SAA, which stands for State Apprenticeship Agency, and the number of minorities, females, and minority females enrolled in and completing their apprenticeship programs? Research question 2. Controlling for demographics, is there a significant difference between population density, percentage of minorities, females, and minority females in a state compared to the Rapids apprenticeship data? Research question 3. Is there a correlation between apprenticeship agencies with early career leaders, mid-career leaders, or late career leaders serving as the state apprenticeship leader regarding establishing a distributed leadership model for their agency? And research question 4. Is there a correlation between a state's distributed leadership quotient and the number of minorities, females, and minority females enrolled in and completing their apprenticeship programs? This was a quantitative study that compared the Federal Office of Administration apprenticeship model to the State Apprenticeship Agency model, with a key focus on the recruitment and retention of minorities, females, and minority females in registered apprenticeship programs in each state. The theoretical framework focused on Spillane's distributed leadership theory, which utilizes shared leadership and collaboration to create more effective results. The question was, how are apprenticeship leaders from K-12, post-secondary, and workforce development collaborating, mentoring, and supporting one another to achieve common goals in their state? The methodology for data analysis included the 2020 U.S. Census population and demographic data, as well as the 2020 Registered Apprenticeships Partners Information Data System, known as RAPIDS. This is where all federally registered apprenticeship data is housed. Additionally, I utilized the Hewlett Distributed Leadership Quiz that measured state apprenticeship leaders' implementation of the distributed leadership theory, which resulted in a DLQ score. This research study used independent sample t-tests to evaluate data from the 2020 Rapids to determine if there was a difference between the type of apprenticeship model a state uses and the number of minorities, females, and minority females enrolled in their apprenticeship programs. The study also used a MANOVA to compare the most recent U.S. Census data to the most recent Rapids data to determine a significant difference in a state's population and demographic statistics versus their apprenticeship enrollment. In this study, I also used a Spearman's R correlation coefficient to determine if there was a correlation between apprenticeship agencies with early career leaders, mid-career leaders, or late career leaders serving as the state apprenticeship leader regarding establishing a distributed leadership model for their agency. The Pearson correlation of coefficient was used to determine if there was a correlation between a state's distributed leadership quotient and the number of minorities, females, and minority females enrolled in their apprenticeship programs. The sample for this study was comprised of all 50 United States, comparing the 2020 Rapids data and the 2020 U.S. Census data. In addition, 30% of the state apprenticeship leaders from various geographic regions responded to the DLQ Hewlett Distributed Leadership Quiz. The respondents were required to hold a state-level apprenticeship director position in either their K-12, post-secondary, or workforce development division. The results from the study are as follows. For research question 1, there is no significant difference between the type of apprenticeship model a state uses and the number of minorities, females, and minority females enrolled in and completing their apprenticeship programs. However, for research question 2, controlling for demographics, there was a significant difference between the population density and the percentage of minorities, females, and minority females in a state as compared to their Rapids apprenticeship data. For research question 3, there was no significant correlation between apprenticeship agencies with early career, mid-career, or late career leaders serving as the state apprenticeship leader regarding establishing a distributed leadership model for their agency. And for research question 4, there was no significant correlation between a state's distributed leadership quotient and the number of minorities, females, and minority females enrolled in and completing their apprenticeship programs. The most exciting part of this study were the findings. 6 of the 10 states with the largest apprenticeship enrollment are in Region 5 of the United States. 7 of the 10 states with the highest population also had the highest apprenticeship enrollment. There was an equal distribution across all regions for states with the highest percentage of female apprentices. Iowa significantly surpassed all other states, boasting a rate of 67% for female apprentices. The top 10 states with the highest percentage of minority apprenticeships were located in Region 3, and the majority of the top 10 states with the highest percentage of minority female apprenticeships were also in Region 3. Based on these supplementary findings and the results of the study, I have developed 4 conclusions. First, in order for us to close the skills gap, we must create intentional efforts to promote pre-apprenticeships and apprenticeships beginning in K-12. We also must have a focused and shared effort by the federal, state, and local apprenticeship leaders to remove the barriers that are causing us to be unable to recruit minorities, females, and minority females into apprenticeship programs. We need continued growth of new opportunities and to improve existing apprenticeships that will provide career-sustaining training and workplace solutions. And implementing best practices nationwide will result in total equity and equality in the workplace and will result in the United States being a model for all nations to follow. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and if you have any questions, I am more than happy to answer them.